What's up? So this is going to be video number 2 in the liminal meditation series I've been putting up. The topic for this video is going to be on the benefits of the practice. So first up, we'll talk about the benefits as it pertains to lucid dreaming. And the first thing I want to highlight here is how quick and easy you can learn this skill of liminal meditation. I don't like saying lucid dreaming is difficult because I feel like it could put like a mental block up for people. But one thing is for sure about lucid dreaming is it takes a long time. It takes, prolonged effort to really, get everything out of it. I mean, like, I would say at minimum years. If you really want to take this stuff seriously, you should probably be pursuing lucid dreaming for years. And some people, they might lose interest in that time. And one of the cool things about liminal meditation is that, you could essentially, you know, pick up this skill instantly. You know what I mean? And then the cool thing is once you figure out how to kind of access these hypnagogic, hypnopompic states, you can essentially pretty much do it on command once you kind of get the hang of it. And this actually is how I go to sleep most nights. Hello, Kupono. Say hi. Yes. Good jump. So it's easy to learn. It can be done on command. And the other cool thing about it is how much time you get to actually spend in it. Because, say if you have one lucid dream a month, which is not bad, it's pretty good. But even if that lucid dream could only be 10 minutes, even if it's kind of longer, like 45 minutes, an hour long, still when you compare that to the amount of time that you could spend in this liminal, hypnagogic, hypnopompic states, once you learn how to get there, it's small in comparison when you can be getting to this state every single night. The other cool thing about being able to access these liminal states is that it's a great place to play with control, where because you can spend so much time in here, you can start to work with. I'm going to work. Is that you can start to work with influencing ideas, seeding ideas, working with expectation, working with influence, and the whole latter part of the videos I'm putting up will be all about control. It's also great for stability. One of the ways I still use it the most, actually, this kind of practice, this liminal practice, is I'll very often, even after all these years, still wake myself up out of lucid dreams because I put forth too much effort. This little guy here might start crying and wake me up. A lot of different things may wake me up in the middle of my lucid dream. And what I found is if I am already lucid, and so like say I'm in the dream, I come out, it breaks down into hypnopompia, I can almost always, if I can go to sleep relatively quickly, build that hypnopompia straight back into the dream and then re-enter the dream lucidly. So that's been a great benefit of being able to work in this liminal spaces. Also, it's great for stability in a sense where when you're keeping your perspective, you're keeping your eye on, say the hypnagogic, hypnopompic point of view, just being able to hold that perspective, whether it brings you all the way out of the dream or not, I find to be extremely helpful in building stability. And this actually is the main way. How's your day? Good. It actually is one of the main ways I keep my dreams stable and rebuild them, especially if I start to feel, say, the dream's starting to end and I don't want it to end yet. One of the main things I'll do is I'll kind of sit there and I'll hold my focus on a spot. Pretty similarly to how when these hypnagogic images are coming on, that I'll hold my perspective on the image. And then it's a good way to kind of solidify everything out, restabilize the dream, and then build the dream back out and keep it going. And then it's great for entry. And I kind of talked about it already once when if the dream's breaking down, I'll use I'll use my ability to kind of stay in this hypnopompic state to rebuild it back up into the dream. But it's also great for dream entry in the first place, which is this thing called WILD, or Wake-Induced Lucid Dreams, which is really like the perfect acronym for it, because if you ever have this experience, it really is quite amazing. And this is actually the way I hear hypnopompia talked about the most. Oh, sorry, hypnagogia talked about the most when you look into this stuff within the lucid dreaming community, where you can basically learn to get down to stage 1, stage 2 of sleep, watch all this hypnagogia build up, and then if you go straight from there into REM, so you skip stages 3 and 4, you can actually have this experience where you see this hypnagogic image in front of you. It builds out, it's getting more and more detailed, but it's still almost like a screen or something like you're witnessing. Then all of a sudden, when you slip from that stage into REM, it's like you'll be teleported into it and gets this crazy body high accompanied with it and all this stuff. Super awesome, crazy experience that if I didn't have it happen to me, I would have thought, man, is that even possible? Well, it is very possible, and if you keep up this practice, it will definitely happen to you sooner or later. Hi, are you pooping? Don't poop. Wait, I'm almost pal. All right, I better hurry up. Then we have some of the other benefits. One of them is that it's a very pleasant state to be in. Like basically being in this state is kind of like being in a peak meditative state. It's like being in the zone. It's being focused, locked in on something. And whenever you're in one of these flow type states, it always feels pretty good, right? Your brain's releasing all these other feel good neurotransmitters. Come here. Okay, he's good. Feeling full of all these other feel good neurotransmitters. And it generally is a very pleasant state to be in, which is why it's how I tend to go to sleep most nights given normal circumstances. Also, and this is a very cool point, is it's great for power naps. So, I love taking naps. I've always loved taking naps, but the problem is I would almost always wake up more tired than I went to sleep, and this actually makes perfect sense where, unless you get to sleep for like an hour and a half or 2 hours, which is generally what a sleep cycle is about, it's about 90 minutes, chances are you're going to wake up not fully completing that one sleep cycle, and you'll probably wake up in like deep dreamless sleep, or you'll be waking up in REM when you're not totally ready to get up, and you'll wake up feeling more tired, right? So the trick is you want to try to get up when you're in one of these early stages of sleep, so like stage 1 of sleep. So if you make the full 90 minutes, you'll go stage 1, stage 2, into the deep dreamless sleep. Eventually you're going to hit REM, and then once you come out of REM about 90 minutes later, you can be back up in stage 1. You'll pop up refreshed, ready to go. The problem is most of the time when we're napping in the middle of the day, we don't get that long. We get 20 minutes, hour maybe, right? But even the hour might sound good, but you can pretty much guarantee wake up only midway through your sleep cycle and feel more tired about it. So being able to, what you can learn to do is you can learn to kind of get down to the stage 1 of sleep in this hypnagogic state and turn it off. And you can learn to stay there, right? And that way when you get up, and you can learn to stay there for like an hour plus. That way when you get up, you're not trying to get out from these deeper levels of sleep. You're just in stage 1 of sleep. Even if you've been there for the last hour, it's a good way to kind of do like a nice power nap, get the batteries recharged, popped up, ready to go, and get to it. In a similar sense, it's also good for insomnia. Now, I don't suffer badly from insomnia, but I definitely have it sometimes, right? And what I found is being able to understand the sleep process, and then if nothing else, being able just to kind of linger in this kind of early onset stages of sleep. Even if you're in bed for 2-3 hours, at least it gives you something to do while you're in bed, and you can play in this hypnagogic state, enjoy that, watch your subconscious mind, do all these other things, help to aid you in your lucid dreaming practice, and then, pass those 2-3 hours and hopefully fall asleep afterwards. So I find it's great for that. And lastly, maybe most awesomely, if that's a word, coolly, if that's a word, is it's unmapped territory, and it's kind of like, these liminal states are like the least known states of human consciousness if you think about it, right? Like we know a lot about being awake, we know a lot about dreams and lucid dreaming sleep, we know even a decent amount about this deep dreamless sleep in stages 3 and 4, right? That's where a lot of like parasomnias and sleepwalking and bedwetting kind of stuff happen. So we know a lot about those too. The things we know least about are these kind of stage 1, stage 2, hypnopompic states as you're coming up out of sleep stages. And how many cracks at unmapped territory do we get nowadays? I mean, everything is pretty much known and understood already. So I thought that was a really cool aspect of it. And I think with that, as I have distractions everywhere, we'll leave it there until the next video. Aloha.